A global biodiversity summit put together by the United Nations got off to a bumpy start in Montreal on Tuesday. Organizers are blaming delegates for failing to make ends meet. The summit is known as COP15 and is one of the most important gathering of biodiversity in a decade.
UN summit opening this week in Montreal is aimed at protecting worldwide ecosystems and averting potential mass extinctions of global wildlife. Negotiators from nearly every nation and thousands of organizations hope that the two-week summit, known as COP15, yields a deal that ensures there is more nature, animals, plants, and healthy ecosystems in 2030 than what exists now. But how that progress is pursued and measured will need to be agreed by all 196 governments under the UN Convention on Biological Diversity.
A key element, a key goal of COP15 is for the nations of the world to agree to protect more of the land and more of the ocean.
Stuart Pym is the Dorst Duke Professor of Conservation at Duke University.
COP15 is important because the biggest irreversible change to our planet is that we are driving species to extinction 1,000 times faster than they should be going extinct. Unlike climate change, which is bad enough, if you lose species, you can never get them back.
According to a 2022 UN Global Land Outlook assessment, more than 1 million species are now threatened with extinction, vanishing at a rate not seen in 10 million years. As much as 40% of Earth's land surfaces are considered degraded. Susan Lieberman is the Vice President for International Policy for the Wildlife Conservation Society.
What I don't want is in 10 years to say, well, that one failed, let's try again. We can't afford that. Humanity can't afford that, and nature can't afford that. A lot of ecosystems are at the tipping point. Any more destruction, and they can never recover.
Overall, the UN hopes to persuade all countries to pledge to put at least 30% of their land and sea areas under conservation by 2030, a target often referred to as the 30 by 30 goal. Currently, only about 17% of the world's land area falls under some sort of protection, while less than 8% of the global ocean is protected. But negotiators said the draft deal is still riddled with bracketed phrases, indicating a lack of agreement and ongoing discussion on hundreds of points. Some of the toughest areas include how to ensure poor nations will have the funding needed to restore degraded areas, whether to include efforts to curb climate warming emissions, and whether to impose a deadline for phasing out pesticides.
What I'd like to see coming out of COP15 is that we agree to be a protector of nature rather than an abuser of nature.
More than 10,000 participants, including government officials, scientists, and activists, are set to attend the summit starting Wednesday and running through December 19.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.